Hi everyone, I'm Annette and welcome to RHS Chelsea 2026. I am actually back in my own garden here, but I've spent the day exploring the beautiful, stunning gardens at RHS Chelsea this year, from the soft, naturalistic planting to incredibly beautiful colour schemes and many ideas that I want to bring home to my own garden here. I thought I would bring you along and show you what inspired me the most. So enjoy this footage from RHS Chelsea this year. My favourite garden, and the one I kept returning to, was this extraordinary one centred around this oversized, intricately carved figure of Mother Nature, resting peacefully amongst the planting. Layers of texture combined to create an atmosphere that felt calm, immersive and full of quiet detail, from this beautiful stone archway to the enclosed space beyond, where there was a deep water feature bubbling gently at intervals. The planting, filled with native trees and shrubs, felt incredibly naturalistic, as though you'd stumbled across a hidden, untouched piece of landscape that had simply always existed there. Now we're moving on to the garden with my favourite planting scheme, and probably the one that felt most like my own garden at home, just elevated to another level. It was filled with soft, feminine tones, pinks, apricots, lilacs and whites, all woven through a gentle silvery foliage and fresh soft greens. The layering of textures was so beautifully done, from the feathery clouds of Thalictrum and Artemisia to the upright spears of iris leaves and the rounded forms of hebes. There were also these wonderful architectural moments from giant honey flowers and globe artichokes, adding drama amongst the softness. Everything blended so elegantly with the burnt umber tones of the central seating structure and the rich corten steel waterways and pools. The Tate Britain garden was filled with lush planting inspired by East Asian woodlands. I loved the dramatic presence of the Japanese sago palms, which created such an unexpected contrast alongside more familiar cottage garden plants like euphorbias, thalictrums and hardy geraniums. Another plant that grabbed my attention was this velvet groundsel. I've never seen it before, and its soft, tactile foliage made it instantly memorable. I definitely need one in my own garden. The colour palette centred around blues, lilacs, whites and fresh lime tones, but it was really the richness of the green foliage in so many different textures and shades that created the garden's lush atmosphere. There was also a beautiful rill running through the space, although from Main Avenue you could only catch glimpses of it unless you were able to walk inside the garden itself. The planting in this garden was such fun to explore, with an exciting mix of colours, shapes and textures at every turn. It really felt like a celebration of imaginative planting, where there were no rigid rules, just bold combinations full of energy and personality. The canopy of recycled steel rafters added both warmth and colour, whilst also giving the whole space a relaxed, welcoming atmosphere. Designed in collaboration with teenagers, the garden genuinely felt youthful and expressive, not just in the structures themselves, but in the spaces between them. It felt like the sort of garden you'd want to spend time in, somewhere creative, informal, and safe to simply hang out. I found myself filming so many close-up details because the planting was displayed so beautifully, with unusual forms and textures constantly catching the eye and creating this wonderful sense of movement, life, and fun. This is the last of the gold medal show gardens, and I really loved its warm, earthy colour palette, lifted by soft drifts of blue camasias and touches of soft pink. The garden had a much more contemporary architectural style, particularly in the central structure and angular water features, which felt quite striking against the softness of the planting. Although that aesthetic isn't quite as naturalistic as my own personal taste, I really appreciated the garden's strong focus on biodiversity, with self-seeded plants, thoughtful wildlife-friendly planting, and the cutest woven birdhouses, something I'm increasingly inspired to explore in my own garden. Now we're moving on to this magical Japanese garden by multi-medal winning designer Kazuyuki Ishihara, whose gardens I always look forward to seeing at Chelsea. This year, visitors were actually allowed to walk through the garden, something that is very unusual for the show gardens, and I was so excited to experience it from within. Every detail felt so carefully considered, from tiny mossy mounds and delicate seedlings to the beautiful combinations of acers, pines and ferns. Rocks, waterfalls, rivulets and still pools all work together to create this incredible sense of tranquility, accompanied everywhere by the gentle sound of trickling water. While I appreciated the simplicity of the open-air pavilion, it was really the colours, textures and atmosphere of the planting that completely drew me in. This garden, entitled the Bring Me Sunshine Garden, certainly lived up to its name with a planting palette full of uplifting, sunny yellows. The bold colour scheme created a really cheerful atmosphere, especially where blues and soft pinks were woven through the planting, highlighting the bright yellows of Baptisia, Achillea, Jacob's Rod and Primula bulliana. Personally, I tend to gravitate towards softer, more layered planting styles, but it was interesting to see such a confident use of bright colour and drifts of planting with a more open feel. I've no idea how medals are judged at Chelsea, but this garden, designed for people living with Parkinson's, felt incredibly thoughtful in both its planting and its purpose. Bright splashes of colour ran throughout the garden, but what really stood out to me was this beautifully carved handrail with a gentle stream of water flowing through its centre. It was such a clever combination of practicality, sensory experience and beauty all in one feature. So many senses were engaged here: the sound and movement of water, the tactile surfaces, and the scent of flowers, including roses, alliums and nepeta. Altogether, it felt like a garden created with genuine care and sensitivity, as well as visual beauty. This is a feature garden, so it's not entered as one of the gardens that gets awarded medals. I loved the russet path leading to the oak-framed hut, draped in wisteria and surrounded by trees and hedges. Around it was a relaxed mix of vegetables and flowers, many traditionally used for crafting and natural dyes. The planting was full of contrasting colour and texture, with evening primrose weaving through cerinthe, delphiniums rising above orlea, and tall purple irises punctuating the scene. Floaty grasses added movement throughout, creating a wonderfully natural feeling of abundance. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed seeing my take on RHS Chelsea. I've absolutely loved it. Let me know in the comments below what inspired you the most, what grabbed your attention. I'd be really interested. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all back in my garden next time.